All right, welcome in. You know the drill. Today we're scrolling through 20 marketplace listings, and I'm gonna tell you straight up which ones are worth your money and which ones are gonna have you crying in a parking lot with a socket wrench. Some of these are gems. Most of them are not. Let's find out which is which, starting with something old, red, and a little weird. So, a 1962 Chevrolet Corvair, and they want $14,000. First gut reaction? For a 60-year-old economy car, that number makes me raise an eyebrow, but the word that changes everything here is body, wagon. That's the Corvair Lakewood, and the wagons are genuinely rare. So $14K isn't automatically crazy. It's not automatically fair either. Let's read what they gave us, which is basically nothing. This is a dealer listing from Springfield Select Autos, and it's the automotive equivalent of a shrug. VIN, mileage, clean title, used, red. That's it. No description. No runs and drives, no recent restoration, no numbers matching, no anything. For a car this old, silence isn't neutral. Silence is a red flag with a bow on it. When a dealer has a genuinely nice classic, they write you a novel. When they say nothing, it's usually because the car has a story they'd rather you discover in person. And that mileage, 65,385 on a 62, that reads as 65K or 165K, who's counting? No way to verify it, and honestly on a car this age it barely matters. Condition is everything. Mileage is a footnote. Now the technical reality. This is a first-gen Corvair, rear-mounted, air-cooled flat 6. Fun little engine, but they're famous for leaking oil out of every gasket they own, and the pushrod tube seals in particular will weep all day. Air-cooled means you're chasing overheating and fan belt issues that'll throw that belt right off the pulleys. The Powerglide 2-speed automatic is durable but slow. You're not winning any lights. And parts? Community's great, but body panels for a Lakewood wagon specifically are a scavenger hunt. The deal? $14K is top of market for a Corvair, so this car needs to earn it, meaning a solid running engine, real floors, and straight glass and trim. A rough driver Lakewood is more like $7, $9K. A genuinely nice one can touch $14K, but only with proof. Verdict: buy after inspection, and I mean a real one. Get it on a lift, check the floor pans and rockers for rust, cold start it and watch for smoke, and make that dealer explain the total silence. No description means you inspect twice as hard. All right, let's roll out of that Corvair driveway and into something a whole lot of people have on their bucket list: a first-gen Camaro. This one's a different animal, because the seller actually talks. 1968 Chevy Camaro, $19,900. Gut reaction? For a 68 Camaro, $20K sounds almost cheap, until you read the line that resets the whole thing: 6 cylinders. This is the base 250 straight 6, with a Powerglide 2-speed. No V8, no power steering, no power brakes, no AC. This is the plain white bread Camaro, and that matters a ton for value. Now, credit where it's due. This is an honest listing, and I love it. The seller straight up tells you it needs rust repair in the usual spots. That's not a red flag. That's a guy who knows the car and isn't hiding it. And the receipts are legit. Newer brakes all 4 corners, radiator, fuel sending unit, rear diff gasket, muffler, shocks, plugs and wires, trans and coolant done in 2020. That's real maintenance, not detailing spray. But let's translate a couple things. Garaged since 1988, never sees rain or snow, good, but the car still lists rust in the floors and trunk, so that garage wasn't perfectly dry, or the damage was already done before '88. Runs and drives. Drivable now, but also needs front bearings repacked and a tire balance, so it moves, but I wouldn't road trip it home. And act fast. Going into storage 8/24, that's a soft urgency play. Don't let a calendar pressure you into skipping the inspection. Technical reality: The 250 i6 is genuinely bulletproof. It'll run forever, it just won't hustle. The Powerglide is equally tough and equally slow. Here's the real question for a buyer. Are you keeping it a 6 or swapping a V8? Because the second you talk restoration, this being a numbers-matching 6 actually lowers its ceiling versus a V8 car. Rockers, floors, and trunk pans are all available repro, but that's real welding and real money. Call it $4, $8K if you farm it out. The deal: base 6-cylinder 68 Camaros in driver with rust condition trade more like $14, $17K. 20 grand is optimistic for a project that still needs floors. Push on the rust and the no power anything, and I'd want 16K, maybe 17K if the frame rails and cowl are solid. Verdict: buy after inspection. Bring a magnet and a flashlight, get under the cowl and behind the rockers, and take that test drive he's offering. Honest seller, real car, just don't pay V8 money for a 6. Alright, let's step way down the price ladder, from a 20 grand Camaro to something that costs about as much as the Camaro's rust repair. Let's go look at a little slice of forgotten history. 1960 Mercury Comet, $4,500. Gut reaction? For a running, titled 65-year-old car, $4,500 isn't scary money. This is firmly in the cheap old car tier, where the real cost is what comes after you buy it. And here's what I actually like about this listing. The seller isn't selling you anything. It's 4 lines, no fluff. And he tells you the 2 problems flat out. Runs good except needs valve body to shift from first to second, and needs body restoration work. That's refreshingly honest. No engine purrs like a kitten. No just needs TLC. He's telling you exactly where the bodies are buried. Let's translate though. Runs good except needs valve body. That's a but. And it's a real one. The Comet's got a 2-speed Merco-matic automatic, and if it won't shift from first to second, you've got a transmission that isn't fully working. Could be as simple as the valve body he mentioned, could be deeper. And needs body restoration work with a fair condition rating is seller speak for there's rust and it's not pretty. On a 60 Comet, check the floors, the lower fenders, and the trunk. The mileage, 22,531, I wouldn't bet a nickel on that being original. On a car this age with no documentation, that's almost certainly 122K or a rolled over 5-digit odometer. Doesn't matter much on a driver, but don't pay a premium for low miles. Technical reality: this is basically a gussied-up Ford Falcon underneath. 144 or 170 cubic inch inline 6, dead simple. Parts share with the Falcon so they're cheap and available. The Merc-O-Matic is old school but rebuildable, and a valve body or full rebuild on that 2-speed runs maybe $800, $1,500 if you farm it out, way less if you're handy. Good news, nothing here is exotic. The deal, honestly, $4,500 for a running clean title early Comet coupe isn't outrageous. These are getting collectible and the coupes have a following, but it needs trans work and body work, so I'd walk him toward $3,500. Every dollar you save here goes straight into the restoration fund, and you'll need it. Verdict: buy after inspection, for the right person. This is a project, not a driver. If you want a cheap, simple, cool-looking classic to tinker on and you can weld or want to learn, it's a fair start. If you want to turn the key and cruise this weekend, run. All right, from a $4,000 project, we're jumping straight to the fun end of the pool. A green convertible with a 5-figure price and a seller who can actually write. Let's get into it. 1965 Pontiac Le Mans convertible, $20,000. Gut reaction? For a running, driving V8 drop-top from 65 with real upgrades, that's a fair ask, not a fantasy. And this listing is a joy to read, because the guy is dead honest and clearly knows the car. Let me tell you what I love here. He leads with "this is no award-winning show car." A great weekend cruiser, and nice enough to not get kicked out of a car show. That's a seller managing your expectations up front, the opposite of the guys who call a rusty heap immaculate. And the upgrade list is legit money. Holley Sniper Effie, aluminum intake, Tanks Inc. fuel tank within tank pump, PT Fay braided lines, cold case radiator, high amp alternator. That's easily $3, $4K in parts, and more importantly it means this thing actually starts and drives reliably, which is the whole ballgame on a 60-year-old carbureted car. He converted the biggest headache into a turnkey experience. Now the cons, because he's honest about those too. The convertible top is toast, rear window gone, cloth ripped, not attached to the body. He's fine with it because he never puts it up, but you should budget for it. A new top with install is $1,000, $2,000, and on a drop top, that's not optional long-term. The electrical gremlins, dead heater fan, unplugged clock, a battery parasite issue, are classic old car stuff, but that parasitic draw is worth pinning down before it kills batteries on you. Couple things to translate. The original 326 V8, so not confirmed numbers matching, doesn't hugely matter on a Le Mans cruiser, but don't pay Guito money. Odometer rolled over is stated right up top, so the 44,538 is really 144K. He's being straight with you. And manual brakes with power steering on a convertible, just know the pedal takes more leg than you expect. Technical reality. The 326 is a torquey, durable small Pontiac V8, and the Powerglide 2-speed behind it is bulletproof but slow, hence it converts money into cool noises. Nothing exotic to fix here. The Sniper EFI is the smart part. The tired stuff is cosmetic and electrical. The deal: driver quality 65 Le Mans convertibles with a running V8 land around $18, $24K, so $20K is right in the pocket, and the EFI setup nudges it toward the fair side. I'd point at the dead top and electrical to get him to $18K. Or have him throw in reinstalling those rocker chrome covers sitting in his rafters. Verdict: buy after inspection. This is one of the good ones. Confirm the frame and floors are solid, verify no active parasitic draw, and take it for a drive. Honest seller, sorted drivetrain, top-down summer car. Fix the top, chase the wiring, and enjoy it. All right. Let's roll from a green drop top over to a clean white sedan and a seller who gives you a menu with two prices depending on the wheels. Let's dig in. 1966 Chevy 2 Nova, $14,000, or $15,000 if you want the Kelsey Hayes wire spoke wheels instead of the original rims. Gut reaction? For a clean, honest 6-cylinder Nova sedan, $14,000 is a touch strong, but not out of bounds if the car's as tidy as he says. Let's read it. Overall, this is a pretty wholesome listing. A well-kept, garaged, barely driven survivor. He gives you the good stuff. New clutch, new tires, anything that was leaking has been fixed. Clean title, manuals and old paperwork included. That paperwork bundle actually matters. Original manuals and receipts add real charm and a little value. And 3 on the tree, that's the column shift 3-speed manual, which is a cool, authentic detail a lot of people have never even driven. Now, a couple things to translate. Mechanically sound. Body looks great. A couple small blemishes is seller speak, so go find them. Usually it means door dings, a little surface rust, or paint chips. And barely driven in the last 30 years sounds great. But a car that sits is its own problem. Brake lines, fuel system, seals and tires all hate sitting. He says the leaks are fixed and it's got new tires, so someone did the wake-up work, but I'd still be checking brakes hard. Small flag. He calls it a 6-cylinder with a manual but then says automatic wiper and smooth and powerful driving experience. The 194 or 236 with 3 on the tree is a lot of things. Powerful is not one of them. That's marketing filler. Ignore it. Also, the mileage bounces between 54,000 and 54,500. And with a car this age and no docs proving it, treat 54K as unverified. Doesn't change much on a driver. Technical reality. The Chevy 2.6 is dead simple and tough. The 3 on the tree linkage can get sloppy and vague with age, and the new clutch is a genuine plus. Parts are cheap and everywhere. This is about as low stress as a classic gets. The deal: nice driver 6-cylinder Nova sedans generally run $11, $15K. So 14Ks is at the upper end for a sedan with a small engine. The 2-door hardtops and V8 cars are what bring the big money. I'd push toward $12, $12,500 on the original rims version, and I'd skip the extra grand for the wire wheels. Unless you love the look, they're not adding $1,000 of value. Verdict: buy after inspection. Go find those small blemishes yourself, run it through all 3 gears, test the brakes hard after all that sitting, and confirm the floors and trunk are solid. Honest survivor, simple car, just don't overpay for a 6-cylinder sedan. Alright, let's leave that tidy little Nova and go dig around in a barn, because this next one's got dirt under its fingernails and a story that needs untangling. 1967 Dodge Coronet, $14,000, and right away the seller drops the magic letters, RT. Gut reaction? A 67 Coronet RT is a legit muscle car, but read the very next line before you get excited. Factory 440 gone / now has 400 with a cam. So the thing that makes an RT an RT, the numbers matching 440 Magnum, is gone. That changes everything about this price. Let's translate this listing, because it's short, but it's packed. Car was running and driving when parked. Car has been parked for 35 plus years. Read that again. Was running 35 years ago tells you almost nothing about now. A car that sat for 3+ decades needs the entire fuel system, brakes hydraulically gone through, tank cleaned or replaced, lines, seals, probably a carb rebuild, and a very careful engine wake up before you even hope it fires. Will run and drive with a little work, is doing Olympic-level lifting on the words a little. Then he's honest about the ugly stuff, and I respect it. Does have Bondo and rust, interior and top reworked in the 80s. So the bodywork underneath the 80s Bondo is a mystery box. Bondo hides rust. It doesn't fix it. And a car sitting 35 years in a barn in Indiana? I'm assuming floor pans, trunk, lower quarters, and frame rails all need a hard look. He's offering videos of the undercarriage, which is a genuinely good sign. Take him up on it before you drive to Newcastle. Here's the value reality. A real, numbers-matching 67 Coronet RT with its 440 is a serious collector car, well into the $40K plus range restored. But this one has lost its numbers-matching engine and now wears a 400. The second that factory 440 walked out the door, this stopped being a blue-chip RT and became a cool RT body project. The good news, it's still a genuine bucket seat, console, RT car with a big block in it that shell and trim have value. The bad, you're buying a full restoration. The deal, as a running, driving, sorted 400-powered Coronet, 14 collars would be reasonable. As a non-running barn find with Bondo, rust, and a wrong engine that hasn't turned over since the Reagan administration, 14K is optimistic. This is more like a $8 10K project honestly, and even then, you're signing up for $20K and years to bring it back. Verdict: run, unless you're a real project person with a welder and patience. Watch those undercarriage videos first. If you are that person and the frame's solid, offer $9K. Plan a full mechanical revival and know you're building a tribute, not restoring a matching numbers RT. For everybody else, this is a money pit with pretty badges. All right, let's climb out of that Indiana barn and go look at something that's already done the hard work for you, at least on paper. This one's a dealer listing, and it's a lot more interesting than most. 1967 Chevy El Camino, $9,500. Gut reaction? For a 67 El Camino with a rebuilt V8 and real suspension upgrades, $9,500 is cheap, which means either it's a screaming deal or there's a catch the listing isn't showing you. Probably both. Let's read it, because the spec list is genuinely good. Rebuilt 327. Rebuilt front end with power disc brakes, tubular A-arms, fuel injection and rear air ride, all done in 2017, about 400 miles ago. That's a serious list. Power front discs and tubular arms are a real handling and safety upgrade over the stock drum setup. FI means it should start and drive like a modern car, and air ride is a whole aesthetic. If all that's true and done right, there's easily $6, $8K of parts and labor there. That's why the price is low relative to the work. But here's where I put my skeptic hat on. Rebuilt. All done in 2017, about 400 miles ago. So it's been driven 400 miles in roughly 9 years. That's a car that's sat. And sitting is death on fuel systems, air ride bags and compressors, and seals. The exact stuff that was done in 2017. A rebuilt 327 with 400 miles is barely broken in and has had years to develop dry-rotted lines and cracked airbags. The upgrades being old but barely used is a double-edged thing. And the tell, most motor pictures from 2017. Translate that, the current photos might not show the engine bay as it sits today. That's a dealer gently telling you the pretty pictures are almost a decade old. Go see the actual car. The other flag is who's selling it. Signature auto sales, buy here, pay here vibe, financing, doc fee, bring your credit card. Nothing wrong with that, but a used car lot didn't build this El Camino. They took it in on trade or at auction and are flipping it. They likely don't know the quality of that 2017 work. And the low price says they just want it gone. Also, odometer rolled over is stated, so 49,437 is really 149K plus. Doesn't matter much on a rebuilt motor, but know it. Technical reality, the 327 is a bomb-proof small block. Disc brakes and tubular arms are all the right moves. Your risk isn't the concept, it's execution and age. That air ride is the wild card, bags, lines, and compressor from 2017 that sat could need attention. And air ride repair adds up fast. The deal, a sorted, upgraded 67 El Camino like this should be a $16 22K truck. At $9,500, the price is basically screaming there's something to sort here. I'd treat it as a fair buy at $8,500, $9,500 if it checks out, but budget a couple grand to refresh what a decade of sitting hurt. Verdict: buy after inspection, and inspect it hard. Cold start it yourself. Run the air ride up and down a few times, check every fuel line and bag for dry rot, and demand to see the actual engine bay today, not the 2017 glamour shots. If it drives as good as the spec sheet reads, this is the deal of the episode. If that air ride's shot and the FI's gummed up, that's where your savings went. All right, let's slide out of that El Camino and into something completely different. A big black land yacht from the golden age of American excess. Get comfortable, this one's a couch on wheels. 1976 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, $15,000. Gut reaction? For a low-mile Survivor de Ville, 15 grand is at the strong end. These are a lot of car for the money. But 15 Kali puts it in it better be genuinely nice territory. Let's read it, because there's some real substance and a couple of tells. The headline is 48K miles. And the story behind it, acquired from the wife of the original owner when he passed away. She insisted miles were original. Original pink California title in hand. Now, that's a nice provenance story, and the original California pink slip is a genuine plus for authenticity. But translate it carefully, she insisted is doing the work here. That's the seller sourcing the low-mile claim to someone else. Original miles on a 76 is very possible, but the widow said so is not documentation. On a car where the whole $15 premium rides on those 48,035 miles, I want service records or old registrations, not a heartfelt story. Little detail worth flagging, the ad title says black. The body says exterior color, brown. Somebody copy-pasted sloppy. Minor, but it tells you the dealer, the Exclusive Collection LLC, isn't sweating the details, so verify everything yourself. What I do like, all fluids replaced or replenished. 5 MF bumper inserts also replaced. AC ice cold. That AC line matters. A working R12-era Cadillac AC system is rare and expensive to fix, so ice cold is a real selling point. And the 5 MF bumper inserts failing is common, so replacing them shows some care. Technical reality. This is the 500 cubic inch V8. The biggest engine Cadillac ever put in a passenger car, and torque for days, though smog era it only made around 190 horsepower, so it's a smooth cruiser, not a rocket. Good news, the 500 and the TH400 behind it are stout and simple. Watch for the usual mid-70s stuff. Vacuum lines everywhere. A finicky quadrajet carb, cracking dash pad, and power everything that all loves to quit. At 48K it should be tight. If it drives loose and tired, those miles are a fairy tale. The deal, nice driver 76 Coupe de Villes, typically run $8, $13K, with only the genuinely pristine low-mile survivors touching $15K. So this is priced as if the 48K is proven. If he's got the documentation to back it, $15K is fair-ish. If it's just the widow said so, this is a $10, $12K car, and I'd say so to his face. Verdict: buy after inspection, and make the miles prove themselves. Get under it, and look for the wear of a 48K car versus a 148K car. Pedal pads, seat bolsters, steering slop. Confirm that ice cold AC actually blows cold on a test drive. Run every power accessory, and ask for anything documenting the mileage. Great cruiser if it's real. Just don't pay survivor money on a widow's word alone. Alright, let's step off the Cadillac's velour couch and down to the bargain basement, because this next one costs less than the DeVille's AC repair. And the listing is 4 lines of pure Craigslist poetry. 1977 Chevy Monte Carlo, $2,800. Gut reaction? For a running, clean title V8G body era coupe, $2,800 is cheap. This is firmly old cheap car territory where the price alone isn't the risk. The listing is. And oh, the listing. Let me translate this beautiful little haiku. Runs Sint, runs excellent, okay? Needs minor repairs and cosmetics, with the lipstick emoji, which is honestly a nice touch. But here's the classic contradiction. Runs excellent. Needs minor repairs. Those two live in tension. And minor is the most load-bearing word in all of used car English. Minor to him might be a whole exhaust and a brake job to you. Then the real tell has current, non-op. That's the one people miss. A non-op in California means the car is registered as not being driven. You don't pay for tags. But it also means it hasn't needed to pass smog, hasn't been on the road legally, and you have zero recent proof it drives, stops, or would pass inspection. To flip it back to operational, you'll owe back registration and, on a 77, a smog check, which a tired smog era 305 or 350 might not sail through. That's your first real cost right there. And my favorite line, not a scam? Friend, nobody has ever had to say that about a car that wasn't a little bit of an adventure. It's the automotive equivalent of trust me. Doesn't mean it is a scam, it probably really is just a cheap car, but it tells you the sellers had some awkward conversations. What's not here is loud, no engine size confirmed, no photos described, no mention of interior, no service history, and fair condition with 100,000 miles. That's almost certainly a round number guess, not a real reading. Technical reality. This is a mid-70s Monte Carlo, So a smog-era small block with a TH350. Both dead simple, dirt cheap to fix, parts everywhere. Rust in the rear frame rails and trunk is the thing to check on these. Nothing here is expensive individually, it's the pile of minor stuff plus registration and smog that adds up. The deal, at $2,800, there's not much room to haggle, but the non-op and unknowns give you leverage. I'd show up with $2,200, $2,400 cash, and let the come by and see do the rest. If it truly runs excellent, and the frame's solid, even $2,800 isn't crazy for a project cruiser. Verdict: buy after inspection. As a cheap project, eyes open. Go see it. Cold start it cold. Drive it if he'll let you. Check the frame rails and trunk for rust, and factor in back registration and a smog check before it's street legal. Low money, low stakes. Just know minor and non-op are quietly telling you to bring your toolbox and your patience. All right, let's roll up north to Oregon and look at a mellow yellow Survivor. After that Monte Carlo adventure, this one's a nice palate cleanser. Simple, honest, and low-key. 1979 Chevy Nova, $9,000. Gut reaction? For a clean, low-mile six-cylinder Nova, $9,000 is fair to slightly strong, but not offensive. These late third-gen adjacent Novas are honest, tough little cars, and a genuine Survivor has a following. Let's read it, and honestly there's not much to untangle, which is a good thing. This is a clean, no-drama listing. Not perfect, but very nice throughout. I actually like that line. It's a seller setting realistic expectations instead of screaming mint. He lists the good, useful stuff. 250 inline 6, automatic, power steering, front disc brakes, rally mirrors, driver's remote mirror. Front discs are a nice touch on a late 70s car, better stopping than the old drum setups. Clear title, cash only, no trades, straightforward guy who's done selling before. Now what to keep an eye on. Low-mile Survivor at 58,500 miles. On a 79, that's very believable. These do turn up as low-mile cars, but it's still an unverified claim. So ask for old registrations or service records if you're paying Survivor money. And very nice throughout is pleasant but vague. Go verify the throughout part yourself, especially the floors, trunk, and lower rear quarters, because even garaged Novas rust there. What's not said, no mention of recent service, brakes, tires, or whether it's been sitting. A low-mile car that sat still needs the fuel system and brakes gone through. Not a red flag, just a question to ask. Technical reality: the 250 straight 6 is about as bulletproof as engines get. It won't win any races, but it'll run forever and sip fuel. The Turbo 350 automatic behind it is equally tough. Parts are cheap and everywhere since this shares a ton with the Camaro and other GM stuff of the era. This is a low-stress, easy-to-own classic, nothing exotic to break the bank. The deal: nice driver 6-cylinder Novus of this vintage run $6.09K, with genuine low-mile Survivors at the top. So $9,000 is right at the ceiling, meaning the car needs to be that Survivor to justify it. If it checks out clean, I'd still nudge him toward $8,000 and see where he lands, especially since there's no mention of recent brake or fuel service on a car that may have sat. Verdict: buy after inspection. Confirm the low miles with paperwork if you can. Check the floors and quarters for rust, and make sure the brakes and fuel system are fresh. No red flags here. It's a clean, simple, honest Survivor. Just pay Survivor money only if it truly is one. All right, we're halfway through the episode, car 10, and we're staying in California for a brown 70s coupe that a lot of people have never even heard of. Let's get into this deep cut. 1975 Mercury Montego, $4,500. Gut reaction? For a running, driving, V8, tagged and legal Survivor, $4,500 is reasonable. This is honest, cheap classic money. And the price isn't the scary part here. Actually, nothing here is very scary, which is refreshing. Let's read it. because this seller talks like a car guy and I appreciate it. 351 automatic runs and drives, body's pretty straight, little scrape on the passenger fender, no signs of cancer. That no signs of cancer line, that's the good kind of seller speak, meaning no rust through, which on a 75 California car is very believable. Then the gold, original smog still on it, but is smog exempt, tagged until February 2027. Translate that, it's currently registered and street legal, no back fees, no smog hurdle to jump. After that Monte Carlo non-op mess 2 cars ago, this is what you want to see. That alone makes it worth more than a car you can't legally drive. And he's honest about the warts, which builds trust. Blinker on the passenger side not working, steering column's a little slack, and the motor has a little misfire. Let me translate those. Dead blinker, usually a bulb, socket, or the turn signal switch, cheap and easy. Slack in the column could be a worn steering coupling or a loose box, worth checking because steering slop is a safety item, but usually a bushing or adjustment. The misfire is the one I'd chase hardest. On a smog-era 351, a little miss is often just a plug, wire, cap, or a lazy carb. Cheap, but it could be a burnt valve or a vacuum leak. So listen to it run. Technical reality. This is a mid-70s mid-size Ford with the 351 Windsor. Both solid, torquey, dead simple engines with cheap parts everywhere. The C6 automatic behind it is a tank. Smog era, so it's choked down to maybe 150-ish horsepower. Cruiser, not bruiser. Watch the usual 70s stuff. Vacuum lines, quadrajet or motorcraft carb quirks, and tired suspension bushings. Nothing here breaks the bank. The deal, 75 Montegos are an oddball. Not many people want them, which keeps prices low and gives you leverage. Driver quality ones trade around $3,500, $5,500. Given the misfire, the loose column, and the dead blinker, I'd walk him down to $3,500, $3,800. He's got a car most buyers scroll right past, and he knows it. Verdict: buy after inspection. Solid cheap cruiser for the right buyer. Listen to that misfire carefully, check how much play is in that steering, and confirm the no cancer claim by getting under it. If the misfire's just a tune-up and the column's an easy fix, this is a legal, driving, genuinely different 70s coupe for peanuts. Just know you're buying a Montego. Resale is a small club. Alright, let's leave that humble brown Montego behind and go look at something with genuine presence. One of the wildest looking cars Detroit ever built. This one's got style for days. 1972 Buick Riviera, $19,000. Gut reaction? For a boat-tail Riviera with a fresh paint job and the big motor, 19 grand is ambitious. These are gorgeous. They've got a real cult following. But the price tells me he thinks he's got a nice one. Trouble is, the listing gives me almost nothing to confirm that. And that's the whole problem here. Look how thin this is. Selling my 1972 Buick Riviera. In good driving condition, new paint job. 455 power plant. That's it. That's the entire pitch on a $19,000 car. For context, on the last few cars we had sellers listing every gasket and blinker. This guy's asking near 20 grand and gave me one sentence. When the price is high and the description is short, that gap is the red flag. Let's translate what little there is. Good driving condition. Okay, so it drives, that's something. But good is vague and self-graded. New paint job. This is the one I'd stare at hardest. New paint on a classic can mean a quality restoration, or it can mean someone just shot color over rust and bodywork to make it photograph well for a quick sale. Fresh paint hides sins. On a boat tail especially, those swoopy rear quarters and the complex tail are rust magnets, and they're a nightmare to fix right. I want to know what's under that new paint. And custom paint color means it's not the factory shade, so it's a repaint by definition, not original. What's not here is deafening. No mileage verification, no interior mention, No service history. No word on whether that 455 was rebuilt or just runs. No transmission notes. Nothing about the ACK or the power accessories that all fail on these. Technical reality, the 455 Buick V8 is a torque monster, smooth, strong, and the TH400 behind it is bulletproof. Good bones. But the 71-73 Boattail Rivieras are complex cars, lots of power everything. That dramatic full-width rear glass and trim that's expensive and hard to source, and rust in the lower quarters, trunk, and around that back window. GM MaxTrack and the finicky 70s electrics can also give you fits. The drivetrain's the easy part. The body and trim are where money disappears. The deal: nice driver Boattail Rivieras run $15, $25K, with clean documented ones at the top. So $19K isn't impossible, but with this little info, he's asking top-tier money on a one-sentence promise. Everything rides on that in-person inspection. If it's a quality car, maybe it's worth it. If the paint's hiding filler, it's a $10K car wearing a $19 coat. Verdict: buy after inspection, and inspect this one like a detective. Bring a paint meter if you can, or at least a magnet and good light, and check the lower quarters, trunk floor, and around that rear glass for filler and rust. Get it on a lift, run every power accessory, confirm the 455 doesn't smoke and the trans shift's clean. Beautiful car when it's right, but a fresh paint Boattail with a bare bones listing is exactly where people get burned. Make him prove it. All right, let's roll from that flashy Boattail Riviera to something a whole lot more low-key, a Malaise-era Grand Prix that's been napping for a couple decades. Let's wake it up on paper. 1980 Pontiac Grand Prix, $7,900. Gut reaction? For an original low-mile G-body Grand Prix, $8,000 is strong. These aren't blue-chip cars, so the whole price hinges on that 33,000 original miles claim being real, and the car actually being ready to drive. And that second part is where I get nervous. Let's read it. The seller's clearly proud of it. All original interior and exterior, beautiful car, I'm second owner, 33,000 original miles. Being a two-owner car with low miles is a nice story, and original survivors do have a niche appeal. He also lists real recent work: new master cylinder, spark plug wires, rebuilt carburetor, oil change, and AC. That's a decent little punch list, and the rebuilt carb plus new master cylinder tell me somebody's been trying to get it roadworthy. But here's the line that reframes the entire ad: hasn't been driven in 25 years. Read that again. A car that's sat for a quarter century isn't a low-mile survivor you hop in and drive. It's a recommissioning project that happens to have low miles. 25 years of sitting attacks everything rubber and hydraulic, brake lines and wheel cylinders, fuel lines, tank varnish, seals, hoses, dry-rotted tires, and gaskets. The new master cylinder and rebuilt carb are exactly the parts you'd replace because they'd failed from sitting, which confirms the story but also tells you the rest of that system probably needs the same attention. Good engine and transmission on a car that's barely run in 25 years is a hope, not a proven fact. And the mileage, 33,000, is very believable given it sat 25 years. But still get old registrations or paperwork to back it, because the price is riding entirely on that number. Technical reality. This is the 3.8 V6. A modest, simple engine. You're looking at maybe 110-ish horsepower, so it's a soft cruiser, not quick. The good news is, it and the automatic behind it are cheap and simple to service. The risks are all sitting problems, fuel system gunk, brake hydraulics you should probably go all the way through for safety, and dry tires that need replacing regardless of tread. Nothing exotic, just the tax of a long slumber. Also check the G-body's usual rust spots: rear frame, trunk, and lower fenders. The deal: driver-grade original Grand Prix G-bodies run maybe $4, $7K. A genuine 33K Survivor is at the top of that, but hasn't run in 25 years knocks the wind out of the Survivor Premium. You're buying its future, not its readiness. I'd point at the long sleep and offer $5,500, $6,000, and factor a full brake and fuel refresh into your budget. Verdict: buy after inspection. Treat it as a recommission, not a turnkey Survivor. Get it on a lift and inspect every brake and fuel line. Plan to go through the hydraulics and tires no matter how it looks. Cold start it and let it run to check that good engine claim, and get paperwork on the miles. If the body's as clean and original as he says and the frame's solid, it's a cool, cheap, honest Survivor. Just don't pay driving Survivor money for a car that hasn't turned a wheel since 2001. All right, let's leave that sleeping Grand Prix and go look at something everybody recognizes: a C3 Corvette drop top. This is a well-written listing, with one enormous piece missing. 1974 Chevrolet Corvette convertible, and the price is blank, empty. There's no number. So before anything else, gut reaction is I can't tell you if it's a deal until I know what he wants. And a Corvette listing with no price is either a typo, a call for price game, or a make-offer fishing trip. Whatever the reason, step one is getting an actual number out of this seller, because everything below depends on it. Now the listing itself is good. This reads like a dealer or a savvy seller who knows C3s. Let's translate it. Repainted in its factory 74L dark red metallic, factory red interior, period correct 350 V8, automatic AC, hideaway headlights operate as they should, white top with no rips. That's a strong, specific description. Naming the exact factory color code is a nice authenticity touch, and calling out that the hideaway headlights work matters because those vacuum-operated units are a classic C3 headache when they fail. Working AC is another real plus on a car this age, and I really appreciate the honesty here. Minor fiberglass cracks and touch-ups noted. Nice driver quality C3 that can be enjoyed without the worry of a show car. Runs and drives well. That's a seller setting correct expectations. This is a driver, not a trailer queen, and he's telling you so. The affordable opportunity language actually hints the price will be on the reasonable end. Couple things to translate carefully. Period correct 350. Note he said period correct, not numbers matching. That's deliberate. It means it's the right type of engine, but probably not the original block that came in this car. On a driver C3 that's fine, just don't pay matching numbers money. Odometer shows 84,000. Believed to be original, believed to be is unverified, so treat 84K as a guess until paperwork says otherwise. And those minor fiberglass cracks, go look at them in person. Stress cracks around the nose, fender flares, and door edges are normal on C3s, but you want to confirm they're cosmetic, not structural. Technical reality. 74 is a decent year. Last of the chrome-ish rear and still a real 350. Though smog era, so you're looking at maybe 195 horsepower, a smooth cruiser, not a beast. The big C3 things to check: the birdcage and frame rust, those vacuum headlight and wiper door systems, and body mount bushings. The fiberglass hides body rust, but the frame underneath does not. Get it on a lift. The deal: driver quality 74 C3 convertibles with AC and a good top generally run $14. $20K, so if he's asking somewhere in the mid-teens, this is a fair, honest driver. If that blank price turns out to be $25K, he's dreaming. You genuinely can't judge it until he coughs up a number. Verdict: buy after inspection, pending an actual price. First, make him tell you what he wants. Then get it on a lift and inspect that frame at the rear kickup for rust. Confirm the headlights and any power accessories work. Check those fiberglass cracks are cosmetic, and drive it. Honest-sounding driver C3 convertible, but a Corvette with no price tag is a conversation, not a deal, until he fills in that blank. All right, We're deep in the episode now, and after a bunch of one-line listings and blank price tags, this one, a first-gen Mustang, is a breath of fresh air. Grab your coffee because this seller wrote you an owner's manual, and I love it. 1965 Ford Mustang, $14,000. Gut reaction? For a 6-cylinder Mustang coupe, 14 grand is high on paper, and the seller knows it and says so. Which immediately tells me I'm dealing with an honest person. The question isn't, is it a scam? It's, is the work worth the premium? Let's dig in, because this is the most thorough listing we've seen all day. Here's what makes this one special. Receipts for everything, and a mountain of real work. Let me run the list. Complete front-to-back rewire with new USA-made factory color-coded harnesses, new fuel tank and sender, rebuilt power drum brakes, a top-loader 4-speed with new clutch flywheel/pressure plate, new front shocks, new parking brake cables, new battery, new locks and ignition, new stereo. That is thousands of dollars of the exact tedious, unglamorous work that scares people away from old cars. A fresh correct wiring harness alone is a $500+ part and a miserable job. Having that done right removes the single most common old Mustang nightmare. And the honesty is chef's kiss. He flags the warts himself. One rot spot behind the driver's door, surface rust where it's primered, horns don't work, heater core needs replacing. He tells you a previous owner replaced the passenger rear quarter, and you can't tell from outside. He even hedges the fun stuff. The 6 supposedly has a cam, using quotes because he can't personally verify it. That's a guy telling you the truth even when it's not flattering. 90+% rust-free, no structural rot, and given how forthcoming he is about everything else, I actually believe him more than most. Couple translations. Odometer rolled over is stated, so 75,641 is really 175K plus. But with this much rebuilt, the odometer is almost irrelevant. The top-loader 4 Speedway overkill behind a 6 is a genuine upgrade. That's a stout transmission, and it means a V8 swap later would be dead easy. And the 2 open items, horns and heater core, are minor. The horn harness is included, and a heater core is cheap, just a bit of labor to reach. Technical reality. The 200 inline 6 with a header, 2.5 exhaust and rebuilt carb will be a peppy, reliable little cruiser. Not fast, but fun, exactly as he says. The Pony Deluxe interior with the full-gauge cluster is genuinely desirable. That's a nicer trim car than a base coupe. The one thing I'd verify with my own eyes is that 90% rust-free claim and the quality of that replaced quarter panel and the primered areas, but he's inviting exactly that. Won't even discuss price until you've inspected and driven the car. That's the most confident, buyer-friendly line a seller can say. The deal. Base 6 Mustang coupes run maybe $10, $15K, and yes, $14K is at the top for a 6, but assorted, rewired, receipts in hand, rust-free. Upgraded 6 with a Pony interior and a top loader is worth more than a stock one, because someone already spent the money and did the sweat. I think $14K is defensible, and I'd only nudge toward $12,500, $13K for the heater core and that one rot spot. This is buying someone else's investment for pennies on their dollar. Verdict: buy after inspection. This is one of the best listings of the episode. Go verify the rust claim yourself. Check the replaced quarter and the primered spots. Drive it and skim those receipts. A binder of receipts is worth its weight in gold. If it's as solid as he describes, this is a turnkey, reliable, fun classic with all the scary work already handled. Honest seller, documented work, no drivetrain mysteries. 6-cylinder or not, cars like this, done right by someone who cared, are exactly what you want to buy. All right, let's swing from that lovingly documented Mustang to the complete opposite end of the effort spectrum, a genuine oddball and a listing so bare it's almost a dare. 1964 Rambler American 330, $10,500. Gut reaction? For a Rambler American, 10.5 is ambitious. These are cool, quirky, underappreciated cars, but they're not exactly a hot commodity. And this price wants the car to be something the listing doesn't bother to prove. And let's talk about that listing, because there basically isn't one. 1964 American Rambler 330. Automatic 2D Coupe 6 style redoubled VIN. That's it. That's the whole thing. No condition, no mileage, no runs and drives, no photos described, no history, no anything. This is a dealer listing, which makes the silence worse, not better. A lot flipping a car and telling you nothing usually means they know nothing about it. Or they'd rather you not know. After that Mustang guy who wrote 3 paragraphs of honest detail, this is a slammed door. Here's the problem with silence on a car this obscure. With a Mustang or a Camaro, you can fill in the blanks from experience and value guides. With a 64 Rambler American, most buyers and most dealers have no reference point, no comps, and no parts knowledge. That empty description isn't just lazy, it's leaving you to do 100% of the homework on a car nobody around you knows anything about. Technical reality. The Rambler American is actually a simple, tough little car. This'll have a 195.6 cubic inch flathead or OV6, a torquey, slow, dead reliable engine with an automatic that's basically a Borg Warner unit. Mechanically, these are honest and cheap to keep running. The catch is parts availability. AMC Rambler stuff, especially body panels, trim and interior bits, is genuinely hard to find. The community exists, but it's small. So mechanical fixes are easy. Cosmetic and trim restoration is a scavenger hunt worse than the Corvair wagon we started with. The other issue is the blank mileage and blank condition. On a $10,500 ask, I need to know if this is a rust-free survivor or a barn-fresh project, and the listing refuses to tell me. That uncertainty alone should knock money off. The deal, nice driver Rambler Americans generally run $6, $12K depending heavily on condition, with only genuinely sharp, rust-free cars near the top. $10,500 from a dealer with zero description is priced like a nice one, but proven like a mystery. Until I see it, this is a $7 8K car in my head, and it's on them to show me why it's worth more. Verdict: proceed with caution. Inspect before you get anywhere near that price. Go see it in person, because the listing tells you nothing. Cold start it, confirm it actually runs and drives, and check the floors, trunk, lower fenders, and rockers for rust since panels are hard to source. Make the dealer answer the basics they should have put in the ad. Miles, does it run, any rust, any history. Cool, quirky car for someone who wants something nobody else has. But never pay top-of-market money on a bottom-of-effort listing. Make them earn that 10.5. All right, we're getting toward the end of the lot, and for our second-to-last car we're going way back, older than almost anything we've looked at today. A post-war Chrysler, and honestly, a refreshingly honest little listing. 1950 Chrysler New Yorker, $7,800 or best offer. Gut reaction? For a running, driving, titled 75-year-old car with rechromed bumpers, $7,800 is reasonable. And the or best offer plus found another car I want, make offers before it's sold, tells you the door is wide open on price. This is a motivated seller, and that's leverage for you. Let's read it. Because this is a genuinely honest ad from someone who clearly isn't a slick dealer. He tells you flat out, there was no background when I purchased the vehicle. Odometer most likely rolled over, but not for sure. Translate that, the 15,383 miles is almost certainly 115K or more, and he's telling you not to trust it. That's honesty, not a sales pitch. Then the important line for any old car, starts up, drives, stops. On a 1950, stops is not a given, and him calling it out specifically means the brakes are functional. which matters a lot on a car with ancient drum brakes. What I like: rechromed front and back bumpers, older inside partial restoration, good tires with a good spare, clean title, registered, no smog. And this bit is charming and useful. I have started this process including finding year of manufacture plates and accessories. A small pile of replacement parts including a new full-size car cover. A seller who's been accumulating correct parts is handing you a head start, and on a car this old, every hard-to-find part is a gift. He's honest about the warts too. Older restoration can still use a little TLC and maintenance. Translate older partial restoration. The work was done a while ago, so expect it to look decent from 10 feet but show its age up close, and expect some of that older work to need redoing. Technical reality. This is the star of the show, a 324 cubic inch flathead straight 8. That's a smooth, torquey, wonderfully old-school engine, dead reliable but slow and low revving, and it's likely paired with Chrysler's semi-automatic fluid drive. Fluid drive is quirky. Part clutch, part automatic. And you need to understand how to drive it and confirm it shifts through its ranges properly. The Flathead 8 is tough, but parts are era-specific, so like the Rambler, mechanical simplicity is offset by scavenger hunt parts availability. Check for the usual old Mopar stuff: cooling system condition, brake hydraulics, and fuel system after any sitting. The deal: driver quality 1950 New Yorkers run roughly $8, $15K. With sharp ones higher, these big post-war Chryslers are undervalued relative to Fords and Chevys of the era. So $7,800 is already at the low end, and with best offer energy, I'd comfortably float $6,500, $7,000 and let him counter. He wants another car and wants this gone. That's your opening. Verdict: buy after inspection. Genuinely fair, honest old cruiser. Drive it and confirm that fluid drive shifts and the brakes actually stop it. Check the cooling system and for rust in the floors and trunk, and get that pile of accumulated parts included in the deal in writing. This is a lot of stately post-war car for the money, from an honest seller who's motivated to deal. If you want something dignified, different, and cheap to own, just not cheap to find parts for, this is a lovely oddball. Make him an offer. All right, we've reached the end of the lot, the last car of the episode, and Ford saved us a big, elegant personal luxury cruiser to go out on. A 65 Thunderbird. Let's close this out. 1965 Ford Thunderbird, $15,000 or best offer. Gut reaction? For a 65 T-Bird in genuinely excellent condition, 15 grand is strong but not crazy. These are big, beautiful, underappreciated cars, and a truly nice one can get there. The problem is, this listing gives me almost nothing to confirm excellent, and that's the whole story here. Look how thin it is. 1965 Thunderbird Ford. One owner, great condition. $15,000 or best offer. That's the entire pitch. After that wonderful Mustang guy with his binder of receipts and the honest Chrysler seller with his pile of parts, this is back to the one-sentence special. When someone asks 15 grand and writes 8 words, that gap between price and effort is exactly where you slow down. Now let's translate the two claims he does make, because they matter. One owner. That's a genuinely valuable thing if true. One owner cars tend to be better cared for and more documented. But one owner with zero proof is just words. Ask for the title history, service records, anything. And great condition / excellent, totally self-graded. And I need to see it, especially because of the next line. Here's the big one everybody needs to catch. Odometer reads 300,000, and odometer rolled over is checked. So this isn't a low-mile survivor. This is a car showing 300K that is also rolled over, meaning it could be 300K, 400K, who knows. That's a high-mileage car. Now that's not automatically bad. A well-maintained one-owner car with high honest miles can be a fantastic sorted driver. but it flatly means you are not paying for low miles here, and if that 390 V8 and the transmission haven't been rebuilt at some point. 300K plus is a lot of wear. Ask directly, has the engine or trans ever been rebuilt? That answer swings the whole value. Also note paint color, custom, so it's a repaint, not the factory color. Fine on a driver, but combined with custom, it's not an original preservation car, so don't pay originality money. And type, other just means the listing didn't have a hardtop coupe box that fit. These came as hardtops and convertibles, so confirm which. A convertible would actually make $15 look better. Technical reality. The 65 T-Bird runs the 390 V8. Smooth, torquey, tough, and simple to work on, paired with the durable Cruise-O-Matic. Good bones. But these are complex personal luxury cars for the era. Lots of power everything. The famous sequential turn signals in the taillights that are a known headache, and vacuum-operated accessories that fail with age. And check rust hard, floors, trunk, lower fenders, and around the rear window. On a 300K mile car, I'd also be listening closely to that engine and feeling how the trans shifts. The deal: driver 65 T-Bird hardtops run roughly $10, 18K, convertibles more. So $15 is priced like a nice one. But with 300K plus rolled over miles and a bare bones listing, he needs to prove it's that nice. With or best offer right there in the ad, he's signaling flexibility, so I'd let the high miles and thin details do the talking and float $11, 12K, more if it's a convertible that checks out. Verdict: buy after inspection, but make this one prove every claim. Get the one owner story documented. Ask point blank whether the engine and trans have been rebuilt given those 300K plus miles. Run every power accessory and those sequential taillights, and check hard for rust underneath. If it's a genuinely sorted, well-loved high-mile driver with a fresh-ish drivetrain, $15K-ish is fair, and it's a gorgeous way to end the episode. If it's a tired 300K car, wearing a custom paint job and a one-sentence promise, it's an $11K car, and you say so with a smile. Alright, I know I called it a wrap, but the lot owner just rolled one more out of the back, and let me tell you, this is the kind of car you end on. A 1970 Riviera. And unlike that one-sentence boattail we saw earlier, this seller brought the documentation. Let's give it the send-off it deserves. 1970 Buick Riviera, $15,400. Well, $15,500 firm in the body text. Gut reaction? For a genuine, documented, low-mile original Riviera, $15,500 is fair to flat-out good. And this is the rare case where firm doesn't annoy me, because the listing actually backs up the price. This might be the most quietly convincing car we've seen all day. Let's read it, because almost every line here is a green flag. 49,000 original miles. Original lacquer paint. Original interior. Original factory spiral shocks. That word original 4 times is a survivor car seller's love language, and original lacquer paint is the tell that this is an unmolested car, because lacquer is what the factory sprayed, and nobody repaints in lacquer today. If that paint is truly original and presentable, that's a preservation class car, not a driver. Original factory spiral shocks still on it? That's the kind of detail only an owner who actually knows and cares about the car would even mention. But here's the line that seals it for me. Same mechanic for over 40 years. A full folder of 40 years of service receipts. Stop right there. That is the holy grail of buying an old car. A 4-decade paper trail from one mechanic doesn't just prove the miles are believable. It proves the car was maintained, continuously, by someone who knew it. That folder is worth real money on its own. Remember how much I loved the Mustang guy's receipts? This is that, times 4 decades. Documentation like this is exactly what separates a believed original guess from a proven survivor. And he's still doing the smart recent work. New gas tank, sending unit, fuel pump, and new tires. That's precisely the stuff that ages out on a low-mile car that sits. The fuel system and dry rotted tires, and he's handled it. So this isn't a hasn't run in 25 years recommission project like a couple we saw, it's a sorted, ready-to-drive car. Couple honest translations, so nobody floats away on the hype. The mileage is believed and well supported by that receipt folder, but still, flip through those receipts and confirm the mileages on them climb sensibly over 40 years. That's how you verify 49K instead of just hoping. And original lacquer paint at 55 years old means it'll have some age. Lacquer can check, crack, or dull over time, so understand you're buying originality and patina, not a fresh glossy respray. That's a feature to Survivor people, but know what you're getting. Technical reality. A 1970 Riviera packs the 4V5 V8, massive torque, smooth as silk, and the TH400 behind it is essentially indestructible. Great, simple, stout drivetrain. The things I'd still check on any Riviera of this era: the power accessories, and rust in the lower quarters, trunk floor, and around the rear glass, because even low-mile cars can rot if stored damp. But with a 40-year maintenance folder, the odds this one was stored and cared for properly are very good. The deal. Nice Driver 70 Rivieras run roughly $12, $20K, with genuine documented low-mile originals like this at the upper half, and the documentation is what justifies the top end. So $15,500 firm is honestly right on the money. Maybe even a slight bargain if that paint and interior present as well as he says. This is the rare firm I wouldn't fight hard, because the folder makes the case. I might gently ask if he'd do $15K even, but if he says no, I wouldn't walk over $500 on a car this well documented. Verdict: buy after inspection, and this is one of the best of the bunch. Sit down with that 40-year receipt folder and actually read it. Verify the mileage climbs logically and the car was serviced continuously. Confirm the original paint and interior in person. Check for rust underneath despite the low miles. Make sure the AC and power accessories work, and drive it. If it all checks, and this listing gives me every reason to think it will, this is a documented, sorted, original Survivor 455 Riviera at a fair, firm price. Honest seller, real paper trail, ready to enjoy. All right, the lot owner keeps finding one more in the back, and I'm not complaining, because this time it's something you never see: a Survivor square body Dodge pickup. Trucks like this got used up, so a clean one is a genuine find. Let's give it a look, Dave. 1979 Dodge D100, $12,500. Gut reaction? For a rust-free, running and driving well-documented Survivor D100, $12,500 is fair. Maybe even a touch of a bargain, because honest old Dodge trucks from this era are rare. Everybody kept the Chevys and Fords, the Dodges got worked to death and scrapped. So a nice one has scarcity on its side. Let's read it, because Dave writes like exactly what he is. A guy who actually drives and knows his truck. Runs and drives excellent with no issues. Maintained well since new. I drive truck daily. Just returned from a road trip with no issues. That last part is gold. A seller who dailies the vehicle and just took it on a road trip is telling you this thing is genuinely sorted and reliable. Not a trailer queen, not a ran when parked, but a truck you can climb into and use. After all the barn find recommission projects we've seen today, a running daily driver that just did a road trip is a completely different animal. That's real-world proof, not a promise. And I appreciate the honesty on the warts. Air conditioning doesn't function, but everything is still there from manufacturer. Translate that: the AC is dead, but all the components are present, which matters a lot, because a complete system is repairable. A system with parts missing is a nightmare, so budget for an AC repair but know you're not hunting for vanished parts. Fair, honest disclosure. Now the one thing I'll gently push back on, and it's a taste thing, not a knock. No rust. I added patina treatment to the hood to protect the bare metal. So the hood is intentionally done in that bare metal patina look. Some people love it. Some don't. Just know that's a choice someone made. And if you want a shiny original hood someday, you'll be repainting it. More importantly, he says no rust, and on a square body Dodge that's the single most important claim, so verify it hard, cab corners, floors, bed, and especially the lower fenders are where these rot. His no rust is believable given the care, but this is the box you check in person. Couple more good notes. Odometer rolled over is disclosed, so 48,659 is really 148K plus, but with a maintained daily driven truck that just did a road trip, honest higher miles are totally fine. This isn't a car where you're paying a low mile premium. And the drivetrain, 318 with a 4-barrel, ordered new that way. New exhaust a year ago. The 318 is a fantastic call. It's one of the toughest, simplest, most reliable V8s Chrysler ever built. Parts are cheap and everywhere. And a factory 4-barrel setup gives it a little extra pep. New exhaust is a nice recent touch. And the special order truck from the Truckworks with added features is a cool factory-optioned detail that makes it a bit more special than a base work truck. Technical reality. This is about as low stress as a classic gets. The 311/automatic combo is bulletproof and dirt cheap to maintain. Mechanical parts are trivial to find. Your only real costs here are that dead ack and whatever cosmetic path you want. Rust is the only thing that could sink it, and he says there isn't any, so confirm and you're golden. The deal. Clean, square body pickups have been climbing as the C10 Chevys got expensive and people started looking at the underdogs. A rust-free, running, documented D100 is realistically a $10, $15K truck now, with the Dodges still a bit cheaper than the equivalent Chevy or Ford, which is exactly why it's a smart buy. $12,500 sits right in the fair zone. I might float $11,000. $11,500 given the dead ack. But I wouldn't expect to steal it, and I wouldn't walk over it either. Verdict. Buy after inspection. Genuinely one of the good ones. Confirm that no rust. Claim yourself at the cab corners, floors, bed and fenders. Verify the ack system is truly all there even though it's not blowing cold, and take it for a drive. If it's as solid as he describes, and a guy who just road tripped it has little reason to lie, this is a rare, honest, usable survivor truck with the best engine Dodge made, at a fair price. The patina hood is your only real "do I like this?" question. Everything else here is a green light.